Welcome back here to the Tim Miles Coaches Show. I'm your host, Brian Roth. We're going to feature some women's basketball here in this segment. Kristen Holt joining us. Thanks for joining us, Kristen.
Sure.
I tried to lobby to make it the Kristen Holt Show featuring Tim Miles, but that didn't go over very well either.
No, that's okay.
The women are 7-6 as they have wrapped up their non-conference slate. And let's hit the rewind button a little bit and go back to the end of November. And you guys opened up first portion of your schedule with a big home win against a DU team that got you down in Denver last year.
And that was a big win because we have not played well against them the last couple of years and lost. And they're always a tough team to play. Their coach does a nice job in preparing them. They're mentally tough. They're aggressive. They're a little undersized, which is the case in a lot of our opponents this year. And sometimes that's hard for us with being bigger and a little bit slower inside, having to guard smaller post players. But we got off to a little bit of a slow start in that game, but found a way to win it. And beating our in-state opponents and certainly along the front range is very important.
Yep, we'll talk about that UNC game and the Colorado game here in just a moment, but you guys hosted that Coors Invitational, and it's a tournament that you guys have hosted forever. Changed it up a little bit, though, this year, and you hosted on Saturday and Sunday instead of the Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we just thought we would play in the afternoons on those 2 days and played it as a classic because we wanted to play those two teams specifically and didn't want it to be in a tournament format, a normal tournament format. So those were two games that were good for us in the standpoint that we were able to really dominate the opponent and everyone got to play and kind of those feel-good games.
You need a few of those along the way as a coach. I know that it was Texas Southern in round one of that classic format, if you will, and that Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and we talked about getting revenge over DU. That was a revenge game as well for you. You lost down there in Texas last year.
And that's been a good thing, I think, this season is we've had some of these revenge games where we've been able to come back and win and take care of an opponent that I think that we should be able to if we're going to do anything in our conference. So we jumped out on them early as well and just pretty much took it to them, and they were demoralized, and we were just playing very well.
Yeah, then another revenge game against UNC. You guys had won 4 in a row, and things were rolling a little bit, and then you kept it rolling against the Bears at Moby Arena. Yeah,
UNC is always a hard team to play for us, and they're always up for this game. I mean, their kids are always ready to play, and some of the kids that they have on their team, we recruited a little bit. So, and our players kind of had to weather their makes in the beginning because they were hitting pretty much from every angle in their triangle offense. But we figured it out, and we made some defensive adjustments, and then we were able to kind of pull away from them in the second half.
Yeah, talk about that second half, because early in that game, I think, 13, 15-point deficit in that game, and you're probably thinking to yourself, oh brother.
Yeah.
But you probably felt like they weren't going to be able to shoot as well as they were the entire game, and you knew that you were going to have a halftime to make some adjustments.
And that happened. I mean, they didn't shoot. They didn't continue to shoot like they did, and I credit our defense a little bit for putting the pressure on them. And Chantel Kennedy comes off the bench and gives us a great lift in the defensive side of things, and she did and was able to stop their leading scorer. So it's kind of hard for me to remember the specifics of that because we've had some games since then, but I think that in looking back that we just played a really good second half.
Yeah. Then you added 2 tough game road trip, and they would go on the road to Colorado, then on the road to Tempe to take on a very good Arizona State team out of the Pac-10. You guys had some momentum going into that road trip, and in particular the CU game. What happened in the CU game? Obviously, the Buffaloes came out strong, and they would get the win.
Well, I think there's a little bit of immaturity with our team in that we win some games and we start thinking we're pretty good and that we maybe don't have to.
Human nature.
Well, I know it is, but and we'd beaten them last year at our place, and they were really ready to play, and with their coaching change, and I think they were a different team certainly. Talking about CU. And we were really on our heels from the beginning and just could never regain any type of momentum. And Kim was trying her hardest to get us going, and she was hitting the back of the rim on every shot. And just no one played well in that game, and so that was tough. And then going to Arizona State, we didn't have much of a turnaround. We had to get ready for a team that we knew would be great defensively, and they were. They were physical, big, in our face. But I loved the way our kids played. I mean, we lost the game, but I thought we rebounded very well from the CU game.
Yeah, and you talked about energy and fight and toughness that was lacking in the CU game that wasn't lacking in Arizona State.
Yeah, and I mean, we did have it at Arizona State, and like I said, we lost. But you got to bring it every time. And I think that was a really growing week for us, as far as we learned a lot about ourselves and the things that we had to do. And this team we're just constantly maturing, just like every team does. But I think we're the type of team that by the end of the season, we're going to be a lot different than we have even in the past in one season. We've just got a lot of youth and kids that are really learning how to play with each other.
Are the Rams going to be able to bounce back, as they had South Dakota in for, the 21st straight year? It seems like they've been to Moby Arena like every year since I've been here.
Yeah, we definitely have the good side of that deal.
That's right. I mean, I'm not even sure where South Dakota is. Do you know where it is?
It's somewhere north.
It's somewhere north. Okay. Well, it's good country up there. I'm not sure if it's in the Black Hills or not, but South Dakota comes down. You guys were able to get the win over them. That a little bit of a break for finals, and then you guys took a trip out to North Carolina. It was the second time you guys went east. You had played in Tallahassee earlier in the year.
Well, let me go back to South Dakota for just a second, because I thought that was a game that was key for us, because we've never played well after a finals week, and I thought we played tremendous, and we had a shorter bench for that game, but I thought our kids played well. And then after Christmas, we all met in Atlanta on the 26th, and we all came from different directions. And I don't know if I'm ever do that again, because I didn't make practice. Shatilla Van Grinsven didn't make practice, and we were just a little bit disjointed going into the Western Carolina game. But our kids kind of got it together, and we won that game, of course, and then played against Winthrop, and then the trip may have caught up with us there, because that was probably our worst performance of the year.
Yeah, the win over again Western Carolina, and then the Winthrop game. You guys come home from that, and talking about another quick turnaround, you get Pepperdine on January 2nd. Good basketball team, maybe a little road legs from you guys though.
I think so, a little bit, and you just can't discount adding Sarah Hemmings and Kelly Hardig to the mix, and changing your bench and changing the way you rotate players and how you use them, and players getting used to their roles. Kelly and Sam Martin and Shatilla, they have not played together very much, and so they're just kind of getting used to each other.
Yep, and hopefully that turns into more wins down the road. 7-6 on the season of the CSU women as they open up Mountain West play with Wyoming. Kristen, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Of luck.
Thank you.
All right, Kristen Holt here. We'll take another time out here on the Tim Miles Show, and we'll bring the namesake back in. We'll finish up the show with men's basketball.
So Colorado State wins the Cancun Governor's Cup.